Sorry about that. So I'm under the College of Public Health. My mentor is Xing Zhang, and the title is Healthy and Unhealthy Eating. So the purpose for this was to explore how income and access is associated with people's food choices. And the problem was that many people grow up living in unhealthy locations, so they're basically not aware on how to make healthy food choices. And another problem is that it may not always be due to the fact that there is always an unhealthy option, but it's like differentiating between healthy and unhealthy food. So like somebody may not know the difference between 350 calories and 500 calories on a food diet, and they will know which is healthy and which is not healthy. And some background information is that there's a lot of fast food restaurants being built in many neighborhoods, and a lot of people are relying on them. And like I said earlier, it's about differentiating between healthy and unhealthy foods. And another problem is that people get comfortable with unhealthy foods, that they consider them to be healthy foods. So that's another problem. So there needs to be like healthier options, and like educational courses too. And these are my citations. So for gender, I really didn't have any gender specifications. And for ages, I did 14 and older. I was going to set a limit to 18, but there are some students here at USCCP who are older than 18. So I just said 14 and older. And I focused on race and ethnicity because I really think that needed to be a factor. But a factor that was very important was income, which is one of the variables that I really focused on. And some more methods. 47 students took my survey, and so there were specific teenagers, 14 and up, here at USCCP. And like I said earlier, race and ethnicity wasn't a factor, but income was. And more methods. So my questions were basically trying to get information on the knowledge people had on healthy and unhealthy foods. And the question I had was, do you consider surroundings in your neighborhood to be healthy or unhealthy? And that question basically helped me to figure out what type of neighborhood they were in. And another question was, do you know everything there is to know about family food choices and nutrition to figure out if it's good or bad? And that was kind of a complicated question, but it's also straightforward. And that was my visual. I know it's kind of hard to see, but some questions were like, what is your yearly income? And then the two previous questions I asked, and like how many family members are in your household, and then your parents' highest level of education. So those type of general questions. So for my results, for the question, do you consider restaurants in your neighborhood to be healthy or unhealthy? I had 31 people responded they were unhealthy, 4 said I don't know, and 12 said they were healthy. So the majority was unhealthy. And for the second question is, do you know everything there is to know about family food choices and nutrition to figure out if it's good or bad? This question wasn't really that different. I guess it was probably because it was kind of complicated to understand. But the majority people said that no, that they don't know everything there is to know about nutrition and all that. So, and this is my table. So on the top left I had access to unhealthy food, bottom I had access to healthy food. And the top is encased it for like people that didn't know. And top right was people that did know. So for the access to unhealthy food and people that didn't know was 26. 26 people didn't know, and that did know, I had 8. And for the access to healthy food, people that didn't know that they had access to healthy food, I had 5 people respond to that, and 4 said that they knew. So, and that's my relative population thingy. And 2.17 was my outcome. conclusions I had that I was able to determine that people with access to more unhealthy foods are 2.17 times more likely to have no knowledge on how to make the right food choices. This shows, my bad. Sorry. So this shows that there needs to be a different way to educate people so they can be able to differentiate between the healthy and unhealthy foods. And so for my discussions, the strengths that I had was that I had 47 high school students to take my survey, and that really helped a lot because I was able to get different students' point of views and stuff. Some limitations were that, like I said earlier, some questions could have been misinterpreted, so they could have led to inaccurate data. And so the scholarly research that I had seemed to align with my results. So they both basically had the same argument that people were that knowledge. And so some suggestions would be to focus on why one particular people are uneducated about healthy food choices, and why there are so many unhealthy restaurants around people that aren't necessarily educated. I guess it would be because of marketing, but I want to go into depth as to why. So for my intervention, I would like to make a website that would point out the unhealthy restaurants around a lot of neighborhoods, give them information about the healthy restaurants, and educate them about the different food choices that are out there, and explain what are the differences between the food choices that are on there, like the calories. We use that as an example again. Calories going from 250 calories to 500 calories, knowing the difference between them, educate people through a website. I guess that would be really helpful. And thanks.
Okay, we'll take a couple minutes for questions. Remember, all-time question master Gary is here. I think you guys can pick up the slack, right? I'll start us out, and then you guys can chime in. First of all, why do you think there are more unhealthy, fast food places and things in certain neighborhoods?
I would think because I guess people don't know the difference between the healthy and the unhealthy options. So around people that don't know, they just put fast food restaurants because it's easier to negotiate prices and stuff and give them unhealthy foods because they get more money off of that. It's like a McDonald's, they'll put it in an unhealthy neighborhood rather than a healthy neighborhood because they make more money off of that.
Go ahead and pause it while the audience thinks of a few more questions. Let's start cold calling. Yeah.
What made you choose your age group?
My what?
Your age group for your survey?
The age group? I guess it was just a matter of who was able to take my survey, because I think it would have been more harder if I had older people take my survey rather than students here at USC College Prep. And it seems straightforward here. Everybody knows about food choices. Everybody knows the difference between unhealthy and healthy options, I guess. So I thought it would be easier to do it here with students here.
What made you choose your overall project? Why did you want to talk about health?
Well, basically, I guess it started with the conversation I had with my dad. So I guess we were talking about unhealthy and healthy foods, and then I just thought about this and sort of moved on with it.
Can you go back to the slide that has